everybody. Mike Vacchi, Princetontrader.com, here with your Tuesday morning pre-market webcast. Okay, daily chart, and we talked yesterday about whether the bears could involve the weekly pivot down at 27.99, how they really had to do that as long as the bulls control weekly pivot, they were going to control the tape. The best the bears could do yesterday were a couple of tests at 28.06, then up and over 13. The bulls just took the tape over and they turned it into a trend up day. They took it all the way up to, they took it up into 42 in the overnight. Yesterday they took it up to 38.25. They came very, very close to our bet the house area, which is way past Crazy Town. We've now printed Crazy Town, which is the relationship between the 45-day pivot and price, and one of the many things that I'm going to talk about in the webinar after the close today at 4:15. What I will say about the webinar is I got about 30 seats left. I just checked the registration this morning before I came on. It's filling up very, very quickly. It looks like it's going to be the most popular webinar that we've ever done. We're going to talk about pivot points, moving averages, Bollinger Bands, a lot of the stuff that I talk about on here every day in more depth. It's your opportunity to ask us questions about that stuff. It's our bread and butter, and it's stuff that we use to create, opportunities every day. So once that weekly pivot established itself as support, or basically it was determined that the bears didn't have what it took to go and get it, over 13 quickly turned into 27.28, which turned into 32, which turned into 38. We've done as high as 42 in the overnight. We've traded back down as low as 28.75. Please don't kid yourself at this point into thinking this is anything more than profit taking. Until the bears can create lower highs and lower lows on a consistent basis in the light of day, and when I say in the light of day, I mean, at 11 o'clock in the morning instead of at 4 o'clock in the morning. These moves down are opportunities for dip buyers to reload. They'll grind it back up, and they'll continue to do higher highs. It's really completely up to the bears whether they're going to be able to execute on enough criteria to follow through and do some kind of a multi-day down move. A multi-day down move, I think, gets you back to the 9-day simple. You've seen it go back to the 9-day simple a number of times. What should the 9-day simple be? It should be flaming support. If it's not, then we have something different to discuss, which will be fun to trade. But for now, this is profit taking until the bears prove themselves, and you have to expect any move to the blue line is going to be support. Okay, hourly chart. So when I left you yesterday morning, we were talking about how these bands were tight. Tight bands beget what? Expansion. Just about all the expansions recently have been to the upside. This one was no different. Took you up to new all-time highs. Into the close, they did more all-time highs in the overnight. We're back to, it's a decent looking hourly candle. But for now, like I said, it's profit taking. And you can see how the overnight base that it built at daily pivot, we never even remotely approached that 27.99 weekly pivot. And once it broke out of this hourly compression, the next 5-6 hours were, basically straight up. So as we head into today, what do the bears need to do? Well, converting the daily pivot would be a good start. They couldn't do it yesterday. They can try to do it today. If they can do that and hold it as resistance and close somewhere down here, they don't have to hold it as resistance and then do this gigantic move down. The misconception that people have in being bearish or being short, they don't want 8 handles down. They want 80 handles down, and they want it now. And if they don't get it, then they get out of their trade and they get spooked out, and it's a big disaster. The fact that they've done 42 to 28.75 can't be discounted. On a short-term basis, that's a pullback. It's an opportunity to reload. And unless the bears get it in gear, you won't see, maybe you don't see lower all day long. It's up to the bears. And unless price demonstrates to you that it can go lower, then your priority has to be to buy higher lows off of this low. Now, if we head back up here and we create a lower high and we can't get through, that is an opportunity to get short for a move back down to see if you can retest this area or go lower. But the point I'm trying to make to you is it's all about what price does. If you're waking up this morning and going, oh, we topped out, that's the starting gun, you need to slow down. You're nowhere near being able to answer that question. And price will tell you, just like I told you last Tuesday morning when we printed the 2808 half, converted 2800, which was a big area, and then did 5 or 6 successive lower highs and lower lows, and then did the big move to weekly pivot. Then did the big move. So there were about 4 or 5 moves that indicated to everybody, indicated to us in the room that there was weakness today. And then you get the big payoff move down to the weekly pivot. If the bears are for real, you'll see something similar. Okay, everybody have a fantastic day. Like I said, webinar today, 4:15, Bollinger Bands, pivots, moving averages, volume weighted average price, our proprietary levels, which were huge yesterday. If you want to learn how we trade with this stuff, what we do with this stuff, and like I said, it's our bread and butter. We use it every day to create opportunities and to build the reputation that we've been able to build over the years. There's about 30 seats left in the webinar. So the sign up is attached here. It'll be on Twitter this morning. If you want in, get in this morning. All right, have a good one. I will see you after the close. Trade them well. Follow us over on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Princeton Trader. Check us out on Facebook and join us for a free trial at www.princetontrader.com. Trade them well.